my highlighting and contouring routine, which I am super excited to film because I am like obsessed with contouring and highlighting. It's probably like my favorite thing to do. Like, as you guys can tell, I can have no makeup on, really, on my eyes at least, and like completely go out on my contouring and highlighting and my face makeup just because I love it. I think it looks really good. This is so pretty. I'm a little bit in love with this. If you guys want to see how I got this contoured face, then just keep on watching. So to get started with this highlighting and contouring video, I've already got foundation on. I literally just have foundation, that is it. The foundation that I use is the L'Oreal Infallible Advanced Never Fail Makeup with SPF 20, and I use these two mixed together, although I think it is like half a shade lighter than my actual, like my chest, so I probably should have just used this one, but whatever. But that's the foundation I have on. By the way, the colors are Sun Beige and Soft Ivory, and those are the two colors that I mixed together in order to achieve the base of this look. So now what I'm going to do is just apply concealer where I normally would. The concealer that I'm going to use is actually going to be a shade that is a lot lighter than the foundation that I have on, and it is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in the fairer shade that they have. I think there actually may be one more. This is number 15 in Fair. What I'm going to do with this is just, as you can tell, it's super light. I'm going to bring this down into a triangle shape. Now, the reason that I do this is because my face is rounder. I am trying to bring everything down to make my face look longer. So I'm just going to create the triangle. This also it creates such a beautiful look. This is not a light look. This isn't something that is going to be like every day. This is definitely something that's like for a night out, or I don't know, just to mess around, but this is definitely not like your everyday look. So I'm gonna be applying a lot of makeup, so don't be alarmed. Now, also what I like to do, and this is just for me, this definitely doesn't have to be done, I put a little bit of concealer down my nose. The reason I do it is because I have a whole bunch of freckles and redness that I can't ever cover with foundation, so I always have to use concealer, but this will also kind of highlight as well down the nose. And then I'm just going to put a little bit on my chin and a little bit onto the forehead. Once again, just kind of in the center where all of the high points of your face are. Anything that you're highlighting is going to come out. Anything that you're contouring is going to go in. I'm going to take a beauty blender and start to blend that out. Yes, it looks super dramatic because it's really light. Bear with me, it will look a little more normal. Taking the beauty blender and just blending all of this out. And you're going to start seeing that my face is going to start to have a lot of highlighted effect. Like, as you can tell, my forehead looks crazy. Okay, you guys, so now that I obviously have a lot of my face completely highlighted already, what I'm going to take is the NYX Wonder Stick. Now, this thing is really nice. It's really creamy, but I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't like the light side. I find that it, for some reason, it like picks up the product that I already have on when I'm blending it out. It kind of like picks it up and like takes it off, and that's kind of weird to me, and I don't like it because I just feel like I'm just like wasting all the product. So I'm going to just use the dark side, the contouring side, and this is also in light. So the contouring shade looks like this. Now I'm basically going to be double contouring because I'm cream contouring kind of, and then I'm going to set it with a powder. So I'm going to take this. Now, contouring is anything that you're trying to sink in, bring in, things like that. So what I'm going to do with the contour is I'm going to kind of bring it up a little bit above my ear. The reason why I'm doing this is because it's going to give me a little bit of a higher cheekbone, which is what I want. But as you can kind of tell already right here, I have a little bit of a shadow already going right there. That's usually where you're going to put your contour. I am choosing to put mine up a little bit higher than that. So I'm just going to kind of take the stick, and just kind of bring it down. You don't want to bring your contour anywhere past like the end of your eye or your eyebrow, because it's just going to be way too much and start to look like you're growing a beard. So please don't do that. Don't bring it all the way down to the corner of your mouth. That's, yes, it is true, you're basically supposed to follow a line from your ear down to the corner of your mouth, but you don't actually bring it down to the corner of your mouth. And then what you're gonna do is just kind of mimic that on the other side. So this is what your contour should look like so far with what we have. Now, a big pet peeve of mine that I see girls doing, and it drives me insane, and I just want to kind of like correct you guys. If you do this, please don't start right here and bring it up. The darkest part should be at your hairline. If you start it right here, you're gonna have a crap ton of product right here, and you're not gonna like, it's not gonna blend correctly. You wanna concentrate most of the product near your hairline and bring it down and kind of fade it. Now what I'm gonna do is I wanna do a little bit on my forehead. My forehead isn't huge or anything, but I'm just going to, my boyfriend's laughing. I'm just going to bring a little bit up just because I like the way that it looks. So I'm really not going too dark or too heavy handed with this, and I'm also going to kind of bring it and kind of connect it down. And I kind of just like connect it at the top, but not too much because I don't want too much contour up there. And just connect it down. Like I said, I'm not really making it perfect. You definitely don't need to because you are gonna blend this out, especially because this one is so creamy that what I'm gonna do is just go down underneath the chin, under the jawline, and then on the nose, which you definitely do not have to do, but I am doing, because I really like my nose to be slim. And then if you want to create more of like a button nose, you kind of take this and just go right there, and it's going to kind of bring out that little tip and look really good. And then just because I'm already at this and going at it, I'm going to put a little bit of this on my Cupid's bow. It's going to kind of bring it in and a little bit underneath my lip, and honestly a little bit right here. And then you just want to start to blend away. Blending in this part is probably the most important part of contouring. A lot of girls don't blend correctly when they are contouring, and that might be why your face is looking a little crazy if you try to contour. It honestly just takes practice and a lot of patience. And then I'm just going to blend that. That is going to kind of make your lip look a little bit more pouty. See how much that like made my Cupid's bow stand out? I get up here to my forehead and around the hairline, I like to just kind of take the product and just blend it into the hairline, because you don't want like a spot where your skin is like way lighter because you didn't blend it correctly and all that jazz. So just really make sure you're blending. Take your time. Okay, so now that everything is blended out and I've got the base of the contour down, as you guys can tell, this can be an everyday contour look for you guys. You just need to pick up one of these NYX Wonder Sticks and it works amazingly. I'm using the NYX Highlight and Contour Pro palette. This one is really good. It has a lot of cool tones to it, which I really like. I have tried the Anastasia and I do like that one, but I really like this one, and for the price, I think this one's really good. So I'm going to start with this, and the two colors that I'm going to use to actually set underneath for like the highlighting powder, I'm going to mix these two because this one's more of like a yellow banana tone and this one is more of like a pinky tone. I'm going to mix the two because they're also the only two shades that are matte in here that are the lightest colors. I'm going to mix those to kind of set where I put my highlight. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this setting brush from Real Techniques, that's literally what it's called. I'm going to pick up a good amount of this product on my brush and I'm just going to literally pat underneath my eye. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of a bigger brush just because that brush is really little and it's really good for kind of getting where you want it, but because I'm going to go to a little bit of bigger areas, I want to use this brush. This is just the e.l.f. Mineral Powder Brush, and I'm just going to still take those two colors, just kind of mixing them together, and I'm just going to kind of go really where the highlight is, right in this area. And I'm just setting this because I don't want it to move throughout the day. So you're just going to set that. I'm also going to set right here where I put that light concealer in my center of my forehead. down the nose so I don't get oily throughout the day. I'm setting in my T-zone. You could set your whole face, but this is how I'm going to do it. And then on my chin. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bronze a little bit. I usually just bronze on my forehead and down my neck just to kind of create some light. So I'm going to take this shade, which actually, let me flip it like this so you guys can see. So I use these two to highlight, and I'm going to use this second shade to bronze because it actually does have just a slight shimmer in it. You never want to contour with the shimmery shade, so I'm going to use that one to bronze. This is where you want to use an extremely light hand in this palette because these darker shades are pigmented and you will quickly make yourself look way over bronzed or make yourself look like you have a beard very easily. You have to use a super light hand. I'm also going to be using a super fluffy brush. This is the MAC 129 special edition. That just means it's like it was limited edition. I am like tapping this brush in the bronzer just barely, and then I'm even going to tap it off of my finger because this is seriously pigmented. And I'm just going to start to basically where I put that contour, I'm just taking a very slim, I mean, as you can tell, look how much product I already have on this side and not on this side. I'm just kind of bronzing up my face. So on my forehead, what I like to do is kind of bring it in. That looks super harsh on camera. I swear it doesn't look that harsh in person. But I'm just really bronzing up that area on my forehead. I just kind of like to make it look a little, my forehead like just a tiny bit smaller than it actually is. I'm like seriously barely picking up product, even though I know in the camera right now I'm looking like a crazy person. But I swear we are going to blend, and plus the camera is making it look a lot more harsh than it actually is. And then I'm just going to take this also down the neck. Okay, now for the rest of the contouring, I'm going to take a matte powder in this, which is going to be the third one. And I'm going to take this third one. And I'm going to use the matte one because when you're contouring, you definitely want to make sure you're using something matte, because if you use something shimmery, it honestly just looks really bad. So I'm going to be using, and I know it's super dirty, it's because I use this for contouring every day. When I do contouring, this is the Real Techniques contour brush. And I'm just going to dip, once again, super lightly into that, and I'm even going to kind of dab off a little bit on my towel here. And once again, especially with these powders, and because we also already have some contouring done, we want to make sure we keep this pretty light. So I'm just lightly starting at the hairline and kind of actually just kind of blending it into my hairline a little bit first with a very small amount of product. And you can just, honestly, I'm going to have to pick up a lot of product, but it's because I don't want to start out with too much and end up looking like a mess. And I'm slowly just going to start to blend this down. Remember not to go past where the end of your eye is or past the tail of your eyebrow, so that you're not bringing it down too far and making yourself look like you have a beard or making yourself look sick or something. Lighting just got a little weird, but it's because I stood up for a minute and it changed. So as you can tell, this is where the serious contouring starts. I am just seriously lightly blending this. We don't want a huge harsh line, and also you want to blend your contour up, not down, because if you start to blend it down, you will create that beard look, which is not what we're going for. Unless it is, then go for it. But once again, very lightly start towards the hairline and kind of just focus blending it into the hairline and kind of blend it up a little bit. And blend it down a tiny bit just into the ear. I don't blend it like down my actual face. Contouring are pretty much done. I'm going to take a tiny bit of that on a Sigma E40 taper blending, and I'm going to use that to go down my nose very lightly, but enough to where you can actually tell that I have contouring on. I just really like to make my nose look a little bit straighter. And then I'm going to kind of go under the nose, and then I like to kind of get all that product off of the brush pretty much and just really blend it, because you don't want it to be too harsh. And then you can take like a little angled brush like this. This is the Sigma medium angle shader in E70, and I'm taking a tiny bit on that, and I'm just going to create that shadowed line right here. As you can tell, that was entirely too much, so I'm just going to kind of really blend that out, and that's going to kind of give me that very buttoned nose look, and kind of, you guys can tell how much of a button nose that created, although it's a little too harsh for me. So I am just going to kind of go over that with this brush just to kind of tone it down. If you do end up going a little overboard, you can always just take the brush that you used your the lighter powder on and just kind of blend over. And everything also is looking a little bit more extreme in camera than it actually is in person. So that is honestly pretty much all I do. I don't really take too much actual of the contour shade and blend it down my neck. I'm just kind of taking what's left on the brush and blending it down, because then I feel like it would just look too weird. Plus I already did take that bronzer down. Just kind of go over it and just kind of blend where you feel like you need to. If you feel like you've done a little bit too much of harsh contouring, you can kind of blend where you feel like you need to. I'm not going to add any powder on like the cupid's bow area, and I am going to add actually just a tiny bit underneath the lip, but that's it. I don't want to do anything too harsh. And then I'm just going to take, it really creates like a really nice shadow. I'm just going to take that powder brush just to kind of blend that a little bit. And now what I'm going to do to kind of really sharpen up this line, take the two powders that we used to highlight in this brush that I got a long time ago from Ulta, and I'm just going to kind of take them. I'm using this brush because it has a nice like flat edge. I'm honestly just going to go right underneath of that with this brush and just like sharpen up that line. Not so much where it looks really unnatural, but you're just gonna kind of go under with that powder just to kind of sharpen up that line a little bit. And then what you can do is just lightly just kind of blend it. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly do my eyebrows and I will be back. Okay, so just quickly do my brows so that I don't look so like much done everywhere but my eyes. I don't have any eyeshadow on though. I'm going to now add a blush and finish doing the rest of my face makeup, because I do feel like this does kind of go along with the highlighting and contouring. So the blush that I'm going to use is MAC's Pink Swoon. I'm just going to take that with an angled F40 brush, and I'm getting that on the brush. Now, the reason that I blend my contour up, but I don't really worry about how blended it is up top, is because I kind of blend it into my blush. So I'll kind of put my blush like almost right on top of the contour and just kind of blend up and then kind of a little bit down. I try not to go too far down because once again, I don't want my face to look, I'm trying to bring like my cheekbones up, not down. So I will just kind of start right here. I'll kind of bring the blush, oh my god, I'm getting so tongue-tied. I will kind of bring the blush down to like where, a little bit onto my apples of the cheeks, but not too much. But I'm kind of blending it all into the contour so it all kind of flows together. Now what I'm going to do is just add a highlight, like an actual highlight to my cheekbones and some of the other places on my face. So what I'm going to do is once again mix two colors. I'm going to be mixing these two colors on the end because this one's way too light. It would just look crazy if I put that on with with my skin tone right now. So I'm going to kind of mix the two. And I like to use like a brush. It's basically the same kind of brush I use to put on my contour, but this one is a MAC and it's a travel size, so it kind of like fits better on my cheekbones. This is just an angled 168, and I'm just gonna kind of, once again, just kind of dab lightly into both of those highlight colors. This is where it's gonna bring shimmer and is really gonna draw attention to your cheekbone right here. And I'm just going to, so basically you just wanna, you know, kind of make like a little bit of like a, either a half circle or a C, whichever way you wanna look at it. Look at that highlight, like look at this, it's just all looking a little bit amazing. I'm also going to take a little bit of a tinier amount of this, kind of dab it off a little bit, and right here, right kind of where you're above your brow, like the arch of your brow, I'm just adding a little bit. Now another place that people do it is down their nose. I don't like to go down the full length of my nose. To me, it looks just shiny and oily, and I used to do it when I was younger, but I like don't do it at all now. I like the majority of the highlight obviously to be on my cheekbones. You guys are probably like, girl, that's a lot, but you know, that's what I like. So I know also a lot of people don't like what I'm about to do, but I do it anyways because I think it looks good. I just like to kind of, just a little bit, and then what I'll do, just on the tip, like I just kind of highlight it, and that also will bring out that button nose again. I will put a little bit like right here. So I'm not necessarily bringing it down my nose, but I'm kind of putting a little bit right here and a little bit right here. And to me, that is how I like it. I think that just looks good on my face. You don't have to do it that way, but that's just how I like it. And then if you want a little bit more, you can put a little bit in the center of your forehead. I don't do that too much. I do a little bit because I do think it looks really pretty, but I don't do it too much. And then I'll also just take a tiny bit on my chin, but not too much. Okay, so this is the highlighting and contouring. I love it. I think it looks really good. I know that it looked a little bit crazy when I just had like the actual foundation on and then like the actual highlight and contouring. But now that I've added the blush and like the actual highlight, which is super strong, which I love, I feel like it just pulls the whole thing together and it makes it look really good. And you guys can kind of see that it's not as harsh as you probably thought it to be. Like as I was going through it, it probably looked like it was super harsh, but it's just the camera. And honestly, once you kind of have like your eyebrows done and your blush done and everything like that, it's not as harsh. Like it's still a harsh, like that's harsh still, but it's not like crazy, and it actually looks a lot more harsh in camera still than it does in person. But that is how I contour. It seriously just makes the biggest difference to contour. My face just looks really defined and it doesn't look like flat. It looks like it has dimension to it, which is what you're doing when you're highlighting and contouring, as well as you're just kind of bringing out some of your features and kind of sinking in some of your features to give your face a lot of definition, which is what I do highlight and contour for. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you guys found this video helpful. I know that there's tons of videos on highlighting and contouring out there, but I just kind of wanted to kind of give you guys like my version of it. So I hope you guys liked this video. If you guys did like this video, please give this video a big thumbs up. If you guys want to see more videos like this one, then subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.